Alright, what's going on guys? It's your boy Zilchi and welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. Today's video we will be talking about the 1 month official release of solo leveling Arise. The game's been out for a month obviously, so I want to talk about how the game is and the state of the game and how well it's doing and how bad it's doing, stuff like that, right? So before we hop in, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that like button, comment, share, and subscribe. We are on the road to surpass Mr. Beast. We are almost there, 200 more million subscribers and we are there. All right, so first thing I want to talk about with this game is obviously it's going to be the gameplay and the content that we have in the game in terms of like graphics and stuff like that, right? Obviously there is a lot. When they dropped this game early access, right, they released the game with 15 chapters, and each chapter obviously went alongside the manhwa, or the manhwa, how you want to pronounce it. And they actually adapted it very, very, very well. I'm very impressed with how they decided to handle the story mode in this game and the cutscenes and stuff like that. Normally, in most games that I play, I usually, like, straight up, I just don't watch cutscenes. Like, there's games where they actually have decent cutscenes, right? But I straight up just skip it. But this game right here, I actually take the time to look at all the cutscenes that they have because I can tell that they did put a lot of effort into the animation and the character designs and stuff like that in this game. So I do really appreciate the effort they put into it. It does follow the story to the T. Like they don't change anything. They don't make their own things aside from the little side quests, or not even the side quests, like those original story characters, right? So aside from that, they go straight in on the manhwa and stuff, and sometimes they even rip pages from the manhwa and they have that animated a little bit and put it in the game. So in terms of campaign and gameplay wise, this game is very good, right? Another thing I really like about it in terms of like the gameplay is the fact that you can, the graphics in this game is ridiculous. Okay, it's so good. If you have a nice 4K monitor, you can run the game in 4K quality, which I think is absolutely insane that there's a gacha game like this that's able to run in 4K quality on PC, obviously. Now we're gonna talk about the loading times of the game for mobile players in a little bit here, but right now I want to focus on just gameplay aspect from PC point of view and just overall content that they have, right? So when they launched it globally, they actually added 3 more chapters, so it went up all the way to chapter 18. And again, each of these chapters are very, very, very good, and it does straight up just follow the manhwa, right? Challenge wise, every chapter has been challenging. Okay, the only really easy one that I'll consider is just chapter 1, obviously, because that's like the tutorial chapter, right? You start to realize that the levels increase, and as the levels increase, the difficulty of the characters that you're facing, the enemies, the opponents you're facing, also increases. And it gets you to a point where you need to come up with new strategies, you need to formulate new plans, character builds and stuff like that in order to beat certain bosses, right? So the first roadblock for me was in chapter 4 when we had to fight this guy right here. I forgot his name, Dong Suk, I think his name is, right? He was actually challenging for me in the early access because, again, remember at that time, crit damage and a lot of the things weren't working in this game. So he was actually pretty challenging when he came out, right? And then when they hit chapter 6, that's when they introduced their first level cap, which was around level 20. And that's also when we had to fight against Kang Taishik here, right? And he was also another stop point in the game where you'd get a little stuck. And I found that very interesting, that you had to be able to build your character in a certain way in order to even try to combat this guy that was so strong, even just at chapter 6. And obviously that trend kept on going the further you got to higher chapters, and it just kept on going and going and going, and eventually you got to chapter 15, which is the hardest one. Well, I'll say this stage right here, hypothesis confirmed, was the hardest stage out of the entire 1 to 15 when the early access here. Okay, harder than the actual boss fight, which is down here, which was a cool boss fight, by the way. The animation for that was absolutely insane. So kudos to Netmarble for doing what they do when it comes to animating and just paying close attention and following the story to a T with this game, right? So very, very, very good. Now I want to talk about Sung Jinwoo himself. I think how they decided to handle, because again, guys, when this game got announced, remember they had a lot of people, like a lot of pressure on them, right? They had to make sure that they lived up to the expectations of the fan base for Solo Leveling Arise, because he's a cool character, right? He's very cool. People loved the system that he had going, where he had to put stat points and stuff like that in order to get stronger. It was like he was playing a video game in his world, right? So they had to come up with a way to make sure we get that same feeling that he got when he was in his own universe and stuff like that. They basically implemented him this way so that way we felt like him, right? And I think they handled it very, very, very well. Now, when it comes to how or what each of these abilities do or stats do, obviously these stats, in my opinion, down here are absolutely useless right now. Okay, so I do think at some point they're gonna want to change it, or they want to make it so that way you're not only focusing on one aspect here, because clearly strength, everything in strength is the way to go, because this game is just straight up DPS heavy. Everything is just about damage, right? So if you put anything in vitality, which you don't need because you get that from your weapons and your artifacts, then you're losing out on DPS, and you're gonna see yourself not clearing a lot of the stages as quick as you could be, right? So I do think they should eventually come up with a way that to just implement these abilities so that way they become more useful, right? Perception is not necessary if you're spending on the game, or even if you just pull a lot of copies, even as a free-to-play player, on certain weapons, right? Even the SR weapons, you get 2,000 perception for getting them up to 5-star, right? Which is very good. If you're, it's an SR weapon, right? A lot of you are gonna have 5 stars on them. Okay, let's be honest here. But I think overall, what they did here with Sung Jinwoo and his cool factor is very cool. The fact that you're able to build him any way that you want to, the fact that you're able to use any weapon that you want to on him, is very cool as well. And the fact that you're able to run him alongside other characters like the hunters and stuff is also very cool. Obviously the game, or the premise of solo leveling, is him leveling up by himself, which is still very true, but I like the fact that they implemented characters to use on the side, right? Because even in the series, you have to go in the dungeon with other hunters unless you become like a national rank or something. I think that's what it was. I don't remember fully, but I think once he, spoilers, okay, I'm very sorry, once he became a certain rank, he was able to go in dungeons by himself because he was just so strong, right? But yeah, very good on Netmarble here. They've been doing a very, very, very good job with communicating with the community and just taking feedback as a whole. You can clearly tell with everything that they've been doing in terms of updating the game, what to fix, what not to fix. I guarantee you they know about the issues with the loading time on mobile, and I know for a fact they're going to come out with some fixes for it. For now, we just got to be patient because it's not easy. It is not easy to come up with fixes for that, right? It's not everyone that's experiencing it too, so now they have to take a look at everything individually and try to figure out what's going on. So I commend them for taking their time to look at all the issues that's going on in the game and fixing them as they go. So shout out to Netmarble for this one. They've been doing a lot of good for this game compared to other games, right? So we know how they are with their other games, right? They don't have the best track record for games, all right? The Grand Cross is still going strong, but it's not the greatest, and they don't typically take good feedback they don't take criticism with that game. They don't listen to their community a lot, right? So I'm very impressed with what they've done with this game here in terms of their communication with the community, right? So very good on them. Like, they've also given out a lot of rewards. We can talk about it real quick because I have everything here, right? Let's look. In the span of 2 days, I lied. In the span of a week, look how many rewards they've been giving, right? So they're giving you extra keys for the dungeons so you can get your artifacts. They give you coins, even though they should genuinely just change the whole coin system because it's ridiculous how much coins are just necessary in this game. But that's besides the point, right? We're gonna talk about the rewards that they give you. They give you coins, they give you gems, give you more keys, they give you tickets, gate keys, more gems, more gems, coins. Like, look at all this. Look at all this. Okay, this is a lot, and this is since the release of the game. So most companies will not do this for you. Okay, I'm gonna be so honest with you. If you go play any game, I feel like even with the new game Wuthering Waves that's came out, right? They do give out some rewards, but I don't feel like they're as generous as they are with this game. That game is very pay to win. I'm gonna be so honest with you. It's very pay to win from what I've seen and what I've seen my friends post on YouTube and stuff like that, right? So compared to that game, this game is blowing it out the waters in terms of how generous they are with the gifts that they've been giving to the community and how much they're actually allowing you to summon. And their pity system is very good. I'm not gonna lie, it's super good. The fact that once you fail your 50-50, you get a guaranteed after that is also super strong, right? Okay, now let's talk about the bad of the game, right? So they did a lot of great things, all right? But you can't have criticism without some badness in there, right? So let's talk about the first thing, which is the events, all right? A lot of these events that they release just absolutely make no sense. I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of them require you not to level up your characters so that way you can get your... Let me explain. So I believe for like certain... I don't know if anything's out right now that actually can show you that, but like there's a lot of missions in the game that require you to level up certain characters, to level up just characters in general in order to get your rewards, right? But the issue with that is if you level up every single hunter that you have, which is the reason why I haven't leveled up all my hunters, is that's part of the reason, but also because of the gold, right? But if you have every single hunter leveled up to whatever, for me right now it's level 80, if you have every single one of them leveled up all the way to max, you can't participate in that. You don't get the rewards for that because unless they release new characters, you're not going to get that reward. You're not going to be able to level any other character up because they're already at max. So what do you do after that? Absolutely nothing, except just sit there and look at the rewards that you're not going to be able to get. So I do think they need to change that. They need to come out with a way or just something different for like rewards like those, right? Overall, the events are actually not even that fun, to be honest with you. Like this rock, paper, scissors, I'm not a fan of it. All right, the other ones that they have, I'm also not a fan of those. I don't know, it's just for me, I feel like this is too RNG heavy. I keep losing every single time. Like, I don't know, maybe this is just a personal thing, but for me personally, I'm just not rocking with the events that they have. It needs to be more interactive, something better, more interesting. Like do like some mini games or something like that, right? Like obviously this is considered a mini game, but it's kind of trash. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be so on Netmarble. If you are watching this is kind of trash. I'm gonna be honest, okay? This that they have here is very good. I like it. But I actually, one issue I have with it is the fact that some of it is it's like it's locked behind summoning in order to get certain prizes. I'm not rocking with that, but I can understand why they do it, right? This part right here is just me. There's something that's just within myself. I'm not rocking with the fact that you have to summon a certain amount of times just to get her weapon and stuff like that. However, it is good that they do have something like this so you can get your weapon if you are summoning a lot, right? Because as well as doing this, they do give you her weapon for free by doing missions like this, right? So it's not bad at all. But there is something I do want to talk about when it comes to this stuff here. They actually did lower some of the points that you get from it, like upgrading an SR rank character. I think they did lower this. I think it used to be like 20 or 15 at some point. So they did lower this at some point. Can't remember, but I think they did. Okay, so I'm not sure why they did that. They should have just kept it the same so people can have an easier time getting the rewards, getting this final one, right? So that's just what I have in terms of the challenges section here and the events that they have going. Artifact growth. This is another thing I don't like. All right, because obviously you need the keys to do artifacts. You need the artifact enhancement chips to enhance them to a certain point, and they don't give out enough of that in order for you to actually complete this whole thing, this entire thing down here. Do I still have it? Where is it? Well, I can't even see it here. Like, you can't do this entire thing. Even the dungeon explore thing. Like, look at this. I can't do all of this if I'm free to play, right? Like all of this I can't get done because they don't give enough of those dungeon keys. Like using 6, even me, I have the ability to use 6, and it's not going to be enough for me to complete all of this quickly or efficiently. By the time I'm even close to being done, this is already gone. I feel like it's gonna be gone, right? I don't use my gems, even though I am pay to win in this game. Okay, guys, I don't use my gems to reset these things because I think it's not worth it. All right, it is just not worth it unless you are heavily pay to win in this game, so you can get better artifacts and stuff like that, right? Which is going to lead us to the next thing that I don't like about this game. That is the artifact system. I think it's absolutely stupid. Well, not stupid, but I think it's a terrible system. I think they had something similar in Genshin Impact and people don't like it. It's in Wuthering Waves now, but I don't know how it actually works in Wuthering Waves, so I'm not going to really talk about that too much. But let's take a look, right? All of this, look how many gold pieces I have, and I can't use I can't use all these because the pieces are just trash. All right, like this piece is actually pretty good. I could use this. I'm not gonna lie. The first one I clicked on, I called it trash. I could use, but most of these pieces, the reason why I don't work on them is because one, not enough enhancement pieces, right? And two, the substats are absolutely awful. They're not what we need when we're hunting for them, right? Like for Sung Jinu, obviously his best build is the crit build. And a lot of the pieces that I do have don't give me crit. Like his best set right here is this piece right here, the toughness set. And I am struggling so much to get a headpiece that has crit rate and attack stats on there, right? I have the purple piece that I've been using, which gives me additional attack, crit rate, and that's it. Right, but I'm looking for a gold piece. I have so many of these headpieces in gold. Not a single one of them gives me attack or crit rate. So that should tell you something, right? So what I hope they implement in this game is a form of artifact stat rerolls, so that we're not constantly trying to use keys in order to get equips that might not even drop the stats that you're looking for. So it's just a waste of keys, and honestly, it's a waste of time as well. I'm gonna be honest. Because grinding in this game is already enough when you have to do your gates, which, by the way, gates are good, but they need to come up with another system for it as well, because it's a lot of grind just to do gates if you don't have the sweeps and stuff. I don't do all my gate keys because if I run out of sweeps, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I am not doing it if I run out of sweeps. So they need to come up with another way to, like, I like the concept of dungeons, right, of the gates and stuff like that, but it's just too grindy. And the rewards are good, but they're not as good as I ideally want them to be. So artifacts aren't that good in terms of what you have to do in order to get the stats that you want, and just what it takes to grind for them is also not good. So I hope in the future they do add some kind of artifact rerolling system. That would be very good for this game. Alright, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about this video. If you guys did agree with me, disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Overall, this game has been a blast. It's definitely one of my favorite games of all time, actually. I'm not gonna lie to you. This game, because I'm such a fan of solo leveling, right? I think they actually did hit the spot. And my need to satiate my hunger for a solo leveling game that I've been waiting for a very long time, I think this game is very, very good, and it does hit that spot, right? If you guys are new to the channel, hit that like button once again, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.